Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here. We have some really cool updates for you in this video, including a giveaway and my experience at the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024. Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to thank all of you so much for everything that you've done to support me so far, especially those of you who have stuck around even though I haven't been posting for almost a month now. My last video went up the early part of February. I don't know, it was like the first week of February or something like that. And I haven't really posted anything since then. And the reason is simple. I've been very occupied this month. I went out to the Blackpool Magic Convention and I had an amazing time, but unfortunately, getting there and then the effects of getting back and diving right back into work and all of that stuff, I just hadn't had a whole lot of time to be posting videos. But I'm excited to announce that starting right now in March, I will be posting regularly again. So for those of you who stuck around, thank you so much. For those of you who are new, welcome. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a couple things. First and foremost, something really cool happened while I was over at Blackpool. I reached my 10,000 subscriber goal. That's right. I reached 10,000 subs right here on the channel, and I promised you guys when I hit 10,000 subs that I would be doing a giveaway. So stay tuned to the end of this video because I will talk to you guys about how to participate in the giveaway as well as what kinds of fantastic prizes you guys will win. Now, on top of all that, I wanted to talk about my experience at Blackpool. I wanted to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly about the Blackpool Magic Convention in 2024. Now really quick, before I do all of that, I've already thanked you guys so much, but there's one more group of folks that I want to thank, and that is my members. It's because of you that I'm able to keep this channel going. So let's go ahead and welcome some of our newest members. You guys have joined over the last couple weeks. So ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Ollie Mardzin, Gian Labuti, Sebastian Nargara, Michaela Ish, The Last Shadow Pigs, and Tim Houston. Thank you guys so much for becoming members again. If you guys want to join or if you want more information, you can go ahead and click the join button or check out the membership tab right here on my channel. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. So, Blackpool 2024. I had an absolute blast. I was invited to lecture and perform in the close-up gala. And on top of all of this, I also had my own stand. This is not my first Blackpool, and this is not my first Blackpool as a dealer. I've actually dealt on Matthew Garrett's Ninja Plus stand for 2 years, and this is my third Blackpool experience and my first time on my own dealer stand. And the thing that I really appreciated about having my own stand was that feeling that I get when I'm promoting my own product. People are purchasing my products, you know, not only that money that I'm making from that sale is going directly into my pocket, but also it makes me feel really good knowing that someone really appreciates my work and that they're going to not only spend money on that, but they're gonna wanna learn it. They're gonna wanna share it with other people and share in that same joy with their own audiences. So I had a really good time with that. Another really good experience for me was the close-up gala. I got to perform with some amazing talented acts. I got to perform with Kyle Purnell, Bernardo, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Sedlicik, I think is how you say his last name. Bernardo, if you're watching this, I apologize. I got to perform with Danny Goldsmith, and holy crap, all three of those guys, incredible experience. Kyle Purnell, some of the driest and funniest humor this side of the Mississippi. Just absolute pleasure to watch Kyle Purnell do his thing. I got to meet his father as well, such a kind gentleman, and definitely showing a lot of support for his son. Of course, Bernardo, one of the best sleight of hand magicians you'll ever see with a deck of cards. He did something that I've never seen before. Now, you tell me if you've seen something like this before, but basically he had the entire audience stand up and he said, if you want to participate in this next trick, remain standing. And if you don't, you can have a seat. Half the people had a seat. I'm guessing everyone thought, all right, I'm gonna put my arms out, I'm gonna do this thing. No, he didn't do that. You know what he did? He had everyone that was standing come up with him on stage. So there was like maybe 45 or 50 people with him on the stage while he was performing. And that was just something that I had never seen before. I thought that was super cool. What a cool experience for those that got to be up on the stage with him. And then last but not least, of course, Danny Goldsmith. He didn't do any coin magic. He just did a bunch of card stuff, which I thought was kind of weird. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course, Danny Goldsmith did a bunch of excellent sleight of hand with coins. The kind of things that make you go, what? How the heck does a human even be able to do that? It was the most insane thing. Of course, Danny Goldsmith got a standing ovation. I myself, I got to open the show and I performed some really fun stuff. I performed my pints and prestidigitation effect, which has not actually been released yet, but you guys can see a little teaser right here on my channel in the performances playlist. I'll go ahead and leave a link to that with the beer cards. You guys might want to check that out if you're kind of interested in that one. But I got to perform some pints and prestidigitation with the beer cards. Of course, I did some magic with Pokemon cards and closed it out with a tribute to my father using my strolling chop cup. And the strolling chop cup routine ended with me revealing my father's favorite baseball player, Mickey Mantle, and on top of all that, wearing my dad's jersey. So it was a really, really cool effect. I wish I could share the whole video with you guys. I actually did not get permission from the Blackpool Magic Convention to share it in its entirety. So unfortunately, that must remain in my own collection. But if you were lucky enough to be there, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was a real treat. And then of course, my other favorite bit was doing the lecture. I lectured on some of my favorite pieces of magic that I always perform. I'm talking about Pokemon card magic. I'm talking about tricks with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I even ended with my Nintendo tossed out deck routine. And our Paul Wilson was actually getting prepared to help David Regal set up his lecture. He caught the tail end of mine. And he told me, that was really cool what you did with that Nintendo, that tossed out deck routine. I really liked your creativity in that. And that just made me like, oh, so kind of him. I did my Among Us thing and all of this. And basically what the lecture was about was taking ideas that you already know and putting a little unique spin on them to make them more personal to you. If you guys have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I jump up on this soapbox and harp about this constantly. For me, the whole point of being a magician and performing for people is for people to leave having felt something and getting to know you a little bit better in the process. Some kind of story that you have to tell, and the magic trick itself is just a tool that we use to tell that story. So that's basically what my whole lecture was about, and I had a lot of fun. And the people that were in there that came afterwards and they came out to see me, they said that they absolutely enjoyed it. I had a couple of folks who came specifically to see my lecture and got to join me up on stage, which I thought was pretty cool. And yeah, it was just a really good time. So again, thank you for those of you who got to join. It was an absolute treat. And then of course, on the good, the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the opportunity that I had to meet all of my friends that I haven't seen in a long time, meet some new friends, and get to take some pictures and things like that. Hang out at the Ruskin, have a couple of pints, and just catch up with people that I haven't had a chance to see in a long time. That was really cool. A lot of people that I had not met before, but have known virtually for a really long time, got to catch up with them as well. And people that I have not had any interaction with that knew who I was, introduced themselves to me, and I made some new friends. So it was pretty cool. Overall, just an excellent, excellent experience. So that was the good. Let's talk about the bad now. I was completely jet lagged and didn't really have an opportunity to recover from that too much. Also, the day that I landed in was Valentine's Day, and since I was extremely busy, I didn't have a chance. Well, let me rephrase this. I did have a chance to call my wife and wish her a happy Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because I was very preoccupied with other things. And honey, if you're watching this, I love you and happy belated Valentine's Day. I'm sorry for not taking the time to do that, but just a little tangent there. But yes, landed on Wednesday. It was about a 20-hour flight for me because I did have a layover at a few hours in Salt Lake City, which is really pretty. I got to see the snow and the mountains and everything, so that was fun. And then landed in London, where I was picked up by Matthew Redford. Thank you so much, Matthew, for kindly picking me up and driving me to the Leamington Magic Society. That was a really fun opportunity. I got to hang out with the guys in the Leamington Magic Society and do a little lecture for them, a sort of variation on the lecture that I presented for Blackpool. So they got to see it. I got special permission to be able to do that. And Matthew Garrett, of course, picked me up, hung out at Matthew Garrett's house that night. And then early the next day, we made that 3.5, 4-hour drive up to Blackpool, which surprisingly enough, the weather wasn't too bad. It wasn't really raining that much. It wasn't too windy, and it wasn't very cold. It kind of felt like California weather, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I bundled up expecting it to be very bad, and it actually wasn't bad at all, which I guess is a good thing. But on the bad side of that, I didn't bring certain things with me that I would have brought because I needed the extra space for my heavy coats and things that I was bringing with me. But other than that, it was great. Another kind of bad thing was the during the lectures and during the gala shows, I noticed something where people were saving seats. And the thing that kind of frustrated me was that they were telling people at the door, sorry, we're full up, we're not letting any more people in. But then you had people saving seats at the front, so there was like 3 or 4 empty seats, and then they were shut the doors and we had to start the show. And I'm like, why are we turning people away at the door? There's all these empty spaces. And the reason is because they were allowing people to save seats. And I don't think that we should be allowing that. You know, if there's one thing that I had to critique about the way that, you know, the gala shows and the lectures were handled was just the capacity issues. A lot of people being turned away at the door, a lot of people saying that they had to kind of sacrifice going to this, to that, because they had to get there early to guarantee that they were even going to get a spot. And then on top of all that, people were saving seats. Now, I don't mind if you're like in and you're like, oh, I got to hit the loo real quick, and you run, you use the toilet, and you come right back. Like that, I'm okay with. What I didn't like was, you know, one person saving like 4 or 5 seats because their mates are in the freaking dealer hall. You know, oh, they're on their way, they're coming right now, and I'm like saving these 4 or 5 seats for them. Like, don't do that, right? Not a good look. The Beat the Wand did not go off because I guess last year someone complained about it, so that was a bit of a letdown. That's my favorite event. It's the event that I look forward the most to seeing whenever I go to Blackpool, even more than the gala shows, which were amazing, by the way. But I think Sam did a really good job of, because he put on, I forget what they called it. They called it something else. It wasn't Beat the Wand. I called it the Beat the Wand competition. But Sam did a good job of putting on something that kind of captured the spirit of what Beat the Wand was, albeit in a more digestible way so as not to easily offend anybody. I guess is the most gentle way of putting it. Still a lot of fun, absolutely had a blast. Got to sing some Tenacious D songs with some of my really close friends and stuff. We're holding each other and, you know, this is not the greatest song in the world. No, it was so much fun. So that was a really good thing. The bad part of it, of course, was it was not the Beat the Wand competition. But again, I think they did a pretty good job of capturing the spirit of that whole thing. Didn't sing the Blackpool blues or any of that. I think they were really trying to be like, this is not Beat the Wand. This is something completely different, right? So props to Samuel for being able to put that on, and he smashed it. He did a great job. All right, things that I did not, I guess we can move on to the ugly, huh? Let me go ahead and get comfortable for this one. So we had the good, we had the bad, now the ugly. These are the things that I would not like to see happen again at Blackpool. And I'm sure that you guys have probably watched other vlogs on this. I'm sure at this point I'm probably beating a dead horse. You've had Craig Petty and other people kind of make videos about this already. But having said that, there were a couple of different things that really stood out. One of them was the security at the event was very interesting. Like, they seemed like they just didn't care in some instances where it's like, really, you're not gonna You're not going to check my badge? All right, I could just be some guy walking in. And then on the exact opposite end of the coin, where they would do a shift change, and then the next guy was like, you have to have your badge, and I have to see it, even if I've seen you pass by a few times, right? So like, I just kept mine around my neck, but I know that there were a couple people that they were carrying a bunch of things, and the boxes were either covering their badge or they put it in their pocket, and security like wouldn't let them in. And it's like, mate, you just saw me walk past you like twice. Do I need to show you my badge every time? My face has not changed. You've interacted with me 3 different times already, right? And so that was getting frustrating. And then security in the different venues were just treating people very poorly. Sam's wife, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name, said that one of the security guards was being very inappropriate when she was trying to get ready for the event or whatever, for the not to beat the wand thing, and just like staring at her and making rude comments and things. So I didn't observe this personally. I'm just going by what she said. Missy, I think is what her name is. Just going by what she said in the Blackpool Magic Conventioneers Facebook group. But yeah, just a lot of really weird things with security. They were kicking people out of events early, like the dealer room. They were coming around at like 3:30, like 4:45, and they were like kicking people out when the room closed at 5. You know, so it was like really weird. I don't know, security was just on one that day for some reason, or that weekend, I should say. Another thing was the amount of people that were complaining about the gala shows, the lectures, and just the different events and things that were going on. Now, of course, you're always going to have people that are complaining. That's just natural. But the thing that really, I don't know, the thing that really irritates me is when people turn it into more than it needs to be, especially when they're going on social media and they're not just complaining, but they're, you know, really attacking other people. I won't name any names. There were a couple people that were being brutal to a lot of the acts, mine included. Someone absolutely hated me, didn't even spell my name right in their little keyboard warrior post that they made, saying how miserable I was to be there, and you know, I'm so stupid because I performed a baseball trick in England, and you know, people in the United Kingdom don't know what baseball is because they're all kind of dumb, right? Like, of course you guys don't know what baseball is, right? I'm like, come on guys, you get it. It's baseball. But the point of the trick was it was meant to be a tribute to my father. Well, why didn't you use football cards? Because my dad didn't watch football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. He was a baseball fan, right? And so it was a tribute to him. It was a chop cup routine. You didn't have to know the inner workings of baseball to understand what was happening. But anyways, that's a rant for another time. And dragging the big gala, the stage gala acts through the mud as well. There was a particular bit that I also didn't care much for with Craig Petty, where they kind of like tortured him and like chopped his head off. And I'm just like, isn't hating on Craig Petty so like 2022? Are we still doing this whole, oh, no one likes Craig, so let's kill him on stage bit? But that's what they decided to do. Shout outs to Craig for being a good sport and going along with that. They put him in a guillotine, they cut his head off, and then they wheeled him out. And then just people complaining about some of the other acts as well, saying that they were either terrible or they had no place of being in a magic gala because they were not necessarily magic. One of them did like shadow puppets, and another person did some like dancing and things like that, and people were just like complaining about it. And it's like, it's magic adjacent stuff that they were doing. It wasn't like completely out of the blue, right? It was magic adjacent for the most part. But the biggest one that stood out, believe it or not, that caused the most controversy was Mac King out of all. And for those of you who don't know, basically during Mac King's act, he does multiple different pieces of magic with animals. He does something with a goldfish, something with a worm, and something with a, I keep wanting to say hamster, it's not a hamster, a guinea pig, big hamster. And I guess Customs and Border Patrol, whatever the UK equivalent is, you know, they wouldn't let him bring any livestock across across the border. So what he needed to do was he needed to actually borrow some animals to be able to perform in his act. And it's very obvious that the animals that he did borrow, in particular the guinea pig, was not trained and tried getting away from him multiple times while he was holding him, tried to get out of his little container that he was supposed to put him in to do the vanish move that he does. And it was awkward for the audience to watch, just because it was like very clearly obvious that this animal is very stressed out. And so it sparked this very, I don't want to call it toxic, but it was a very lively debate on the Facebook group, where people were saying, you know, he's such a terrible person for, you know, stressing animals out, and we need to stop using animals and stuff, which to an extent I understand and agree with. I have a pet rabbit, and I used her in my act for a while. I don't use her in my act anymore, and it's not because of any moral reason. It's more just because she doesn't fit in the container that she is produced out of. She outgrew it, and I haven't upgraded the size of the thing, so she's not in my act anymore. But even then, I took very good care of her when she was in my act. I made sure that she was comfortable. She didn't sit in a hot car. I made sure that the room that she was in was air conditioned, and she was in her little thing, and she had her food and all that stuff. And she loved kids, so when I would pull her out of the little thing, the kids would all run up and pet her, and she loved it. So I can understand animal abuse, and I'm 100% against animal abuse. And so I get it when people say, like, oh, like the goldfish, where he like had the goldfish in his mouth, or the hamster, the guinea pig, you know, stressing out and all this. I get it. But it turned into a more toxic thing than I think that it needed to, especially at the convention. It's like, maybe there's time and place, but like at the convention, it became a major contention, right? So those are the things that I didn't like and would care not to see again. I think we go to these conventions to have fun. We spend a lot of money when we're there, and you know, we just want to have a good time. And this drama that kind of gets stirred up is something that I think that we can do without. So that was the good, the bad, and the ugly of my experience at Blackpool 2024. Now, the last thing that I want to do before I go is the giveaway. And we're not going to be giving anything away in this video right now. But if you've made it this far, you will now know how to participate in said giveaway. And that is very, very simple. I want you to leave a comment on this video right here. And I just want you to tell me something that you absolutely love about magic, or that you're looking forward to that has to do with magic this year. Maybe you've decided to go pro, or maybe you have like a really fun show that you're looking forward to, or maybe you're just looking forward to going to a magic convention, or you're looking forward to what's going on in this channel. It could be anything. I just want to hear 2024. What are you guys excited about right here in the comment section on this video? And I'm going to be giving away 3 prizes. And those 3 prizes are going to be a magic trick worth up to $50 on my official store, a deck of playing cards, and my strolling chop cup, the actual leathered cup itself. Those 3 prizes are going to be up for grabs. And if we can get 20 people to participate in this, I will allow you guys to do a first, second, and third prize. If less than 20 people participate, whoever the first place person is will just get all of those things. So if I can get enough people to participate, I will do a first, second, and third place for the giveaway. And then you guys, whoever's first gets first pick over what they get. Whoever's second gets second pick, and whoever's third gets whatever's left over. So that's it. That's the giveaway. I will be announcing the winners at the end of next week. So about a week after you guys watch this video, I'm going to give you guys a full week to watch this video, to leave your comments, and I will be using a random number generator to determine who is going to be the winners, right? You can comment as many times as you want. So it'll help my algorithm out, but just note that I'm gonna be taking everyone's name and writing them down and putting a number next to their name based on who commented in what order. So it doesn't matter how many comments you leave. I'm going to go by name, not by, I'm not gonna choose a comment, I'm gonna choose a name. So just throwing that out there so I don't get people spamming like 100, just like the letter I, or something like weird. If you are gonna make multiple comments, I would appreciate that they have some kind of substance. And I am not going to be choosing based on which one is my favorite or anything. It's gonna be completely random so that we're keeping it as fair and unbiased as possible. But anyway, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I have no idea how long I've been talking for. It's probably been at least 30 minutes, if not more. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much, and take care, everyone.